don't you?
Yeah,
I don't.
you're smart.
I know. I
Much
don't ever
smarter
start
than I
on
am.
that. Okay, we ready?
Are we telling fish stories back there?
Yes.
Little ones, we'll tell them. I was gonna say some things, but we're on live now, so. All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the Johnson County Solid Waste Management District to order on September 9th, 2024 at 2:01 PM. Ma'am, can we get a roll call?
You sure can get a roll call. Kevin Walls,
Present.
David Lexi, Ron West,
Here.
Mark Myers,
Here.
Brian Baird,
Here.
John Ditmars, and Susie Quote.
Here.
Sir, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. And from our stellar audience, do we have any public comment or anybody on Zoom? All quiet, we're good. Approval of minutes from the July 8th, 2024 meeting.
Make a motion that we accept those minutes.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second.
And point to abstain. I wasn't here, so I'll abstain from the vote.
Okay, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. We're done.
If Kevin Walls, President Walls, John Ditmers on Zoom, just figured out how to unmute.
You're like the voice. You're like the voice in the sky here, man. It's like a revelation.
Do not assign me to anything, for I am here.
But that's all I'm in.
Take that.
John Ditmers. That was pretty good.
He is a board member, so
He is, so we will need to do a roll call vote from this point forward. From this point forward. Okay. He is now joined.
Way to go, John.
Way to go, John. We were moving.
I'll hang up.
No, he didn't join until after the roll call, so we're fine.
There he is. All right, he looks like he's in a stand someplace. All right, so we'll do a roll call vote on everything from here forward. So we're gonna have the treasurer's report.
Hello, we are looking for approval for the check register from July 9th to September 9th, 2024. The total is $84,646.37. We've split it out between normal course of business and what came out of the bond fund just from here on out, so everybody can distinguish what might be extra moving forward for a while.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call vote, please. All in favor?
Okay,
Quote's aye.
Kevin Walls,
Aye.
Ron West,
Aye.
Mark Myers,
Aye.
Brian Baird,
Aye.
Susie Quote,
All. Aye. All.
and Mr. Ditmars.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was claims. Checks.
I think she encapsulated the entire.
You both of them in one.
Yes. It's fine. We'll just make sure it's done that way. I mean, none of your good.
Looks like a mad
Do
dog
you
in
want a separate, do
Washington,
you want a
doesn't
separate
he?
motion approving the check register? Do you have any questions, Mr. West?
No, I had a question on the general ledger bond fund,
But what question do you have?
and it's a similar question, I guess, to the income statement. I'm just wondering why on the bond fund, we start out a beginning balance of a negative $2,938,169. Why would it be a negative if you got funds in there? And then you have debits that are a positive number. I don't understand why those numbers are negative on the right column.
Yeah, that's all you, Angela.
And when you get over there, pull the microphone up a little bit there to you. Thank you very much.
That is a liability account.
A what?
That is a liability
Anything but
account.
the commissioner meeting.
So when the money came in, there was a debit to cash and a credit to this bond fund payable account. Because it's not income, it's money that we're using. So now when we pay the checks out of there, we credit our operating cash and we debit this bond fund to keep track of how much we still have left to spend. So it's like a contra cash account.
It's like,
Yeah, but common sense says if you have a negative number, you can't spend money out of it, right? If it's a negative number.
But that was the money we were allotted, so now we
I'm
start
just-
with,
It's not a big deal, I'm just kind of
it's
wondering why we.
Peachtree, it's not,
I get
it's
it.
not government accounting specific.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
a really costly move.
Yeah,
So we're just having to work with it the best we can.
Peachtree.
the key being,
Peachtree.
if it works for you, it's all right with me.
Okay.
I
the key
just
being a liability
didn't
account.
understand why it would be.
We only have, one thing to remember, when we took in that money, we were not required to open up another account. So all of the money actually sits in the same account. And so that's why we are trying to show you the separation and show you what we did with the funds, so that it's technically our bond fund, but as Angela said, without having to go into a $20,000 accounting program that, you know, just to be able to show two funds, to be able to show a positive. I mean, that's the reality. Because we can only have one main fund in Sage with what we paid 25 years ago for it.
But as we review it, as long as we know that the bottom line number is ending balance is how much money we have left
Right.
that has not been spent at the liability.
That's correct.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Are we all satisfied?
I get it.
He's still scratching his head.
Well, it's because you
If it
said
works for
common,
them, yeah.
you said common sense would say, this is government. They cancel each other out.
Are you saying it's not so common? Common sense is not that common?
Bingo.
Is that what you're saying?
I think we're good. All right. CAC committee.
No one is here to represent today, but we will be meeting tomorrow with the committee. So we will go over how we'll end up the rest of the year. We always have that pitch in November that I tell you all about. And so we'll be setting up and planning for that. And thankfully, all our members are still present with us. So we're very excited about that.
All right. Well, you might as well stay right there because you're up next, Jesse.
Okay, so we have initiated our course marketing for our campaign move, and we are working with somebody to help us as we commence our building, to help us with the video. He is local, very reasonable because we are a governmental nonprofit entity, and so he is going to help us with some of the aerial videos and do different things so that we can work on marketing the move. But while we are doing that, we are going to do that in relationship to not only what we currently take and why we take it. And I showed you that video the last time so that hopefully everybody got a better understanding of, wow, this is truly happening in our backyard. So that would be an example of something we would add to our website as we move forward, as we're talking about plastics and we're talking about why we do the things that we do. But we also want to focus on some of the programs that we are hoping to incorporate, such as composting, bringing in the HHW in-house. And as I mentioned that, please know that I'm going to also encompass our Saturday collection numbers. We had 54 people sign up for our Talksbox Saturday. We have never had 54 people sign up for our Talksbox Saturday. That is the max we can have on a Talksbox Saturday. We ended up, I was there, I actually grabbed my husband because we were going to be so busy. And we probably had about 44 show up, and Carla did the numbers for us, and I believe we haven't even received that bill yet, if I'm correct. And we are already have surpassed monetarily where we were last year with the HHW facility. And I'm sure we have also, we're about where we were last year with the public. And so we're super excited about that, but at the same time, that is a huge financial burden. So as we move forward and as we open up our new facility, and we are going to be open year-round anytime that is open, you will probably hear me speak about this a lot more. So I just wanted to bring an awareness that we're excited. We love that we are offering this opportunity and that people are finally really taking us up on it and coming to us for the materials that they need to. But as I was mentioning, Lynn and I were discussing some different things, and one of the things I said is, as we talk about the growth of Johnson County, we directly feel the impacts of the growth of Johnson County, and in many ways, a much different financial burden, because one household doesn't come close to the $3 that they give us in their tax, money. Somebody coming to the Talks box, it could easily be $100 for a trunk full, if not more. So just those relationships, I mean, we're super excited by it, but wow, the numbers are really, really growing. So as we move forward with our campaign, we're going to discuss those things. We're going to discuss why we, make sure that these materials don't go into the waterways. Franklin just had a very interesting issue last week with their waterways that I was joking with the MS4 about, thought he was very familiar with, and he had no idea about. And so I guess I'm glad I called. But apparently, somebody up in Greenwood actually treated their 9 ponds on the Friday night before it was supposed to rain, and ended up tracking all the way down and past Franklin with that. So Greenwood's right on it, the state chemist is right on it, and several other entities are as well. But one, great partnership, great relationship when we talk about our MS4s and our piece that we play in that. I even though I'm just gonna say it right out, I was being a smartass. But the good thing is that we knew who to call, and it got tracked. So,
And the water is safe?
and the water is safe. The water is safe. Yes, it has nothing to do with our drinking water, and no fish have been harmed or killed in the process. So yes, so just a wonderful example, honestly, of our partnerships, but again, of things that we do as a district that a lot of people just don't think about when we're talking about our programs, because they think of us as just recycling. So our Saturday, by the way, we also had the most paper collected on our August event. We had almost 4 tons of paper collected that Saturday, again, from 9 to noon. That's it. Very short time span. So always a great event for us, and always a great way for us to be able to give back to the community. We continue to do that. Our next one is in November. At that one, we will open up for our latex paint recycling again. When we move, we are hoping to be able to offer that at all 3 of our program days. It's just going to be a matter of how big it actually gets for us. The last one we did in June, we did market it, but probably not as strongly because we wanted to see how it would all land. The company does come down from Ohio and provides the manpower for it. And so we hope to continue that program. And when we don't have it, we do, of course, still advocate for the drying up of the material, because latex paint is not harmful, it's just a nuisance waste. So as far as the bond, we are officially, and I am going to knock on wood, Lynn. We are officially, done with that piece. We made sure that the auditor's office pushed our button for the State Board of Accounts reporting, so we should be all set there. Of course, as you saw from our numbers, we are already writing our checks to all that we owe, and Jeff Peters is working with the council on the excess levy appeal that will go on September 12th for its first reading of that. It does look like about $56,000. I believe we saw about $52,000 this year. I don't have an exact number because it gets incorporated into the other tax levy. So I've been waiting for that exact number because I can't just go in and see which was which. So, any questions?
Well, you got anything for Jesse? It's a quiet crowd
All
today.
right. I'll take it.
Next up, the one and only, Miss Lynn Gray for the
Well,
legal
it
report.
appears I haven't been doing anything, and we have been busy. I don't know, but I don't have any formal legal report to, Jesse is right, the bond issues, things are done, the contracts are signed. Wes is here to talk to you about some of the alternates, so, but I don't have a formal legal report to give to you. other than It's been busy, I just don't know what we've been doing.
Been tracking water in streams.
Absolutely, yeah, that was
Thanks,
an
buddy.
interesting Monday. Why is Young's green? Yeah. It's safe.
All right, let's go to old business. New name for facility.
Okay, so I spent some time thinking about what everybody had to say. And when I was working on the marketing campaign, I reached out to Elizabeth Rowe, who has worked with solid waste districts for literally 35 years. She is amazing, and I was kind of brainstorming some of my marketing ideas with her. And I said, okay, I need some help. So instead of environmental center, you know, what are some ways that we can maybe show that we are more than recycling, but of course, recycling is a lot of what we do. And so we were initially talking about some of the words you would see around campuses, and was on the phone with us. And all of a sudden, I started thinking, something goes around, and what goes around? A hub. So instead of the Johnson County Recycling Center, I would like to see it named the Johnson County Recycling Hub, as we are just the start of the activity that happens there. Much shorter than environmental and even shorter than center as far as the sign goes, but really it's also just the place where just the start of what we do happens. Because as you know, we collect the recycling there, but we aren't even recycling there, obviously. But we do so much more, and so many more things will go out of our doors, especially now that we become all-inclusive. So that is Johnson County Recycling Hub, is what I would like to see the name of the building be. Of course, we will still be the Johnson County Recycling District.
Jesse, the only thing I'd ask is, what's your stationery printed,
We have no stationery printed.
business cards?
We do everything through Canvas, so we are finishing out our business cards, but everything, I mean, because we'll have a new address, everything.
Yeah,
So,
you have to get reprinted.
yeah.
Okay.
I was quick to write down the
Well,
initials to
the-
make sure it wasn't a weird word.
Just definition wise, I just, you know me, smart butt that I am, definition of hub is the center of activity and propeller, not the startup. Just
Yeah, that's what, I did a lot of,
in
looking
case
in and,
anybody would notice. It's the center of activity, the focal point.
Which that would be, wouldn't it?
It's really not the center of the recycling part, but it is the focal point of Johnson County's.
and we do so much more than just recycling, so.
Thoughts, comments?
Hubba hubba.
Sounds good to me.
Good
You
with
can always
you?
use nave as a synonym to hub. If you work crossword puzzles, you'd know that.
We'll wordle it.
At some point, we will have to make reference to Linville at some point.
Reference
You
to what?
remember we bought this from Linville and they gave us a discounted rate, or throw-ins that we would at least, God forbid we have a statue of Fred out there or something like that, but we'll,
We can name all the way around the north side of the building, Linville Lane,
well, I
on
think.
private property.
Yeah, we could on a private, or give him a dumpster or something like that, Fred would like that. But just keep that in the back of your mind if we have to do something that was part of the consideration of us getting the discounted land.
I didn't know that.
Well, and we are, hoping to create that little education piece in the back, so it could be Linville Education,
Yeah. We could do something.
Linville Conference Center. We can name the conference room after Linville.
I like the trash bin idea. I love Fred. He'd like it too. Anyway, just keep it reminded. No big issue, I don't.
Okay. All right. So we'll push it to the next meeting. We got time on the name,
Oh,
unless you wanna,
Commissioner West was all in
For not name,
Hub,
for name.
hub.
So Jesse,
For
give me
name.
the official name that you're looking at, Johnson County.
Recycling hub.
Personally, I think the center's fine,
Or district,
district.
which is what it is now.
Well, and that's fine. We were still planning on staying the recycling district, but the building is what we were talking about, because the sign out front would be the Johnson County Recycling District. We were talking about the,
Doesn't take much to confuse the public, and that's my,
I would keep it simple.
well
we
then,
have hub, center, or
Time to
district.
Time to think. We need time to think.
yeah. Well, yeah,
We'll
because
give you a
honestly,
hub.
I wasn't thinking of changing the name of the,
Well, we can't. I mean,
Yeah, the
we're
district.
created by statute, so.
yeah, well, that's, yeah, because
But
technically we're
sometimes
the.
they're gonna think this is a recycling hub, where's the district at? I'm just being honest. You know that.
If they're-
So,
if
we'll get
they're-
back to you next meeting,
No problem.
we have 3 choices, so everybody take that into consideration, hub, district, or center,
You're right.
so. Okay. We're gonna talk to Mr. Wes Harrison now, or he's gonna talk to us.
You get to talk a lot.
He's been talking a lot today.
I know. My
Thank
opportunity.
goodness he's not a lawyer, he gets paid by the word.
That's right. So,
Sorry, Lynn.
thanks for having me in this afternoon. We, just to give you a quick update on the building, we have the delivery date for the pre-engineered building, which was kind of the kingpin in understanding the schedule. So it's to be delivered towards the end of October. I think October 25th was the date. And so site work is supposed to start later this week, which will be great. And they have still promised that we will be in the building towards the end of March, which was our goal. We might not have asphalt down, but we'll be in the building anyway. So that'll be great for all the user groups. So just to recap where we're at right now, June 10th, we received bids on the project. And the low bid was from Runabout Construction out of Shelbyville for $2,475,000. That was the base bid. It didn't include either of the 2 alternates, which at the time we did not accept. Since the bids were received, we sold bonds for $3,120,000. So that money was available to us. Our alternate number 1 bid was for the radiant floor heat, which is important in the operation of the building. But the price for that was $62,110. Alternate number 2 was for a storage mezzanine for $40,030. The total of those 2 is $112,140. And when you add that to our base bid of $2,475,000, it comes to a total of $2,587,400. The other cost coming out of the bond will be for the professional services, which including reimbursables will be around $95,000, which then totals us to $2,682,000. $2,682,400 total, and available left in our bond based on what Jesse has paid out of it so far, which has been a little bit of professional services, leaves us with a total of $244,600 left in the bond that we'll use for contingency and hopefully be able to return that at the end of construction, but leaves us with a little bit of a buffer for unforeseen conditions, and that's all in. So the request today is for you to consider the approval of alternate 1 and alternate 2 for the project. Any questions?
And I can answer anything. As from my seat, I would recommend approving with the underground heating system is gonna make it a lot safer because they're gonna be dragging in stuff throughout the winter and it will freeze. And we'll have people falling and cars slipping. So that's,
I will make a motion that we accept options 1 and 2.
Okay. I was waiting for the second for discussion.
now we're gonna talk.
I try to go by Robert's rules when I can. I guess my concern about the underground, is it electric, water, so it's gas fired? Do you know the cost of that?
62,000.
No, the running and the,
Of the gas.
Monthly gas,
it is
Is it the gas
expensive.
or is it that
coil system.
nitro or
It's a gas hot water system.
Yeah, see, the cost of that is gonna be outrageous, just so you know, as long as we understand that.
Well, I can tell you based on Shelby County's numbers last year, which Shelby County has it, and they have it in a much greater space. And we had gotten their electric and gas and all of that, and it was very reasonable and within the budget that we had set. Now, I'm not saying that it's not expensive to run because we didn't have an excruciatingly cold winter, but they did have it in place, and I did not find their gas prices to be out of.
I know I've run those in commercial applications and residential applications, and most of your residences to do just a driveway pad with natural gas runs about $362 a month just for that process. That's in a
Yeah, I would
small
tell you that their gas bill was not, I mean, I can go back and get their numbers, but their gas bill was not probably even 300.
Whoever's bidding that project should be able to run you numbers on that.
Can you turn it off?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, it depends on how much you run it, how often you use it, how big of an area.
Well, yeah, I mean.
The average
It's the
on
pass-through.
a,
It's just a pass-through on the driveway.
It's just the lane where people would be driving through the facility, because that's one of the reasons why we had to shut in our other facility, because it immediately ices over, and so.
and I'm not questioning the need, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure that we're aware of the cost to maintain that and to run it, because it's pretty expensive if you use it a lot.
Any more discussion? Mr. Dittmers, you got any discussion on this?
No, sir, I don't. I'm listening.
Suzie? Brian, you got anything?
no?
Got anything else, Brian?
Nope, that was it. I'm just
All right,
bringing
we
that
have a
forward.
motion and a second on the floor with a little discussion in between. So, ma'am, I would ask for a roll call vote.
Ron West,
Yes.
Brian Baird,
Aye.
Kevin Walls,
Yes.
Mark Myers,
Yes.
Suzie Quells,
Yes.
Mr. Ditmars.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous, sir.
There you go, Wes.
Thank you.
All right. New business, discussion of November meeting dates and 2025 meeting calendar.
You have a chance.
I'm sure we have stuff here in the packet.
Yes,
Everybody has both calendars?
it's ready, yep, we have.
Okay.
December 15th would match the commissioner meeting, that matters.
No, that was exactly what our discussion was going to be. So we started looking at dates in November, and I completely admit that part of it was something that I had committed to for our first meeting in November. But after doing that, Carla recognized, and Carla can talk about it, the fact that most all of our bills do not start getting paid until between the 8th and 12th of any given month. So when we meet at that very first meeting in November, the way that we initially have it set up now, we don't have any of the bills technically that would be coming in. And so as we discussed it, we called the board president and he said, please go ahead and add it to the agenda. And so one of the things we talked about was, of course, either meeting the third Thursday of November.
Monday.
Oh, excuse me, the third Monday of November. I have Thursday because I know one of the reasons why we changed it is Thanksgiving. Or, as I started thinking about it more, I'm wondering if what would make the most sense would be actually doing the first Monday in December, in which case we would have all of November in, and the only thing that would be held over to January would be our December bills. Whereby meeting on November 4th, we have none of November's bills in, and we're holding everything over into December, or into January for 2 full months. So I don't know if we should not only change for this November, but then going forward, because I know when we initially did this, you guys had initially like, well, we're gonna look, but now I think it's been pretty much a steadfast rule. November and December, you change to the first and third Mondays of each month. And so if that's the case, we could have the same rule where we meet in September and then we meet again that first Monday in December. So, but that's, I mean, those are options.
Well, November the 18th works, right, for you guys?
Sure, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We could either do November 18th, but then we're still holding out 6 weeks, or we could do the first Monday in December, and then we would only be holding 1 month's bill. But it's completely up to the board.
Either one works for me.
And we would just set, I guess for me, I would like to like then just set the precedent that this is what, going forward, that's what we'll do, unless you all change when you meet.
The issue that I'm gonna run into, and probably Kevin, and I don't know about Ron, but possibly Ron, is that first week of December is always our ICC conference. I won't be here. Kevin won't be here.
Okay.
Ron sometimes goes to that first day, sometimes he doesn't, so.
Yeah, normally I don't, but
So do you not change your December meetings then to first and third as well?
We do, but it's.
Oh, you leave after the meeting. Gotcha. I see. Well, that's fine. I mean, we could do the third.
Well, they will. I won't be here because I have to be there on Sunday night
Yeah.
at all those conferences for a board dinner, but Kevin could be here till after the meeting. I forgot about that. You could come after.
I can come up later.
But that's complete, I mean, we do have, like you said, we have the third meeting
I
in
think it's third week of
November,
November.
or the third Monday in
Third Monday
November,
in November.
or the first.
Which works better for you?
18th is November, probably makes more sense.
That's what I was thinking, if that works for you all,
That's-
just so there's no conflict at all.
Sure.
Which one?
November
18th of
18th,
November,
and then for next year's calendar, make it November, the third.
Yeah, I'm
Monday.
fine with November 18th.
that would just definitely clear all three of us.
Well, and that would make it so our bills would come in instead of them not having come in when we're meeting, so that's fine, so.
There were some timing issues with the billing, so.
Yeah.
Well, November of 25 would be the 17th,
Okay, so can you adjust that?
just so you know.
Yep, we will adjust that for the 2025 calendar, and I will resend that out to everybody, so we'll adjust for 2024 and the 2025 calendar.
And make
Yeah,
sure and give
'cause
our
I know this
notices.
year
And we'll give our notice.
Give our notices as required. Okay.
Do we need to vote on the calendar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All right. We had a little bit of discussion on the meeting dates and the 2025 calendar. I think we've come up with a solution. The November 18th will be the date of our meeting, and in 25, it will be November 17th. Other than that, we'll follow what we have in front of us as far as the advertisement she sent us or gave us. Everybody good with that? All right. Ma'am, I would ask for a roll call.
So this is going to be a motion saying that we're going to start meeting on the third Monday
Of November.
of November. Okay, so is that how the motion
No, the
works?
motion
Will
is
be
going
worded.
to be
Put
that the
dates in.
November 24 meeting will be November
18th.
at 2 p.m.
Mhm.
And the calendar as circulated, noting that the 2025 November's meeting will be November 17th. That's the motion
Thank
that I
you.
heard from
I
the
just
president.
want to
Correct.
make sure I heard that right, Lynn.
You got it.
Okay, so roll call vote would be Ron West.
I think you need a second, don't you?
Oh.
On your motion.
And we seconded it?
Second.
There we go.
Got
Yeah,
that?
we have a second.
So,
Yeah, we
okay,
do.
so Brian,
Going
you
quick
first,
here.
Hey,
you were first, who firsted it? Who
No.
first, who made the motion?
Chairman made the motion.
Sure, okay.
Mr. Baird made a
No.
second.
Mr. Myers did.
Oh,
Mr. Myers seconded.
I'm sorry.
I said, now we have a second.
Maybe who's on first and what's on second?
Mayor Myers made the motion, it was seconded by Commissioner Baird.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thirded by me.
And
Just don't
thirded-
listen to the
And
recording.
thirded, that's a new.
And
one.
thirded
Yeah,
it.
and the president got involved there somewhere.
I was just laying out the times and dates.
I thank you all for helping me,
You're welcome.
figure that out. I appreciate it. Ron West,
Yes.
Brian Baird,
Yes.
Kevin Walls,
Yes.
Mark Myers,
Yes.
Susie Quills,
Yes.
Mr. Ditmars.
Yes.
Thank you. That was a unanimous vote, sir.
Mr. Ditmers, you missed a little bit by not being right here.
And
I
enjoy.
did. I wanted to hear that whole conversation repeated because I got confused.
No, please, no.
Some of us are that way all the time.
Yeah. Understood.
Do we have any other business? Are we good? We're good. And I would look like, for a motion to.
Move to adjourn.
There we go. We have a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.
We are adjourned. Mr. Dimmers, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
See you, everybody.
Thanks,
See ya.
See you, sir.